hard to talk about, but I'm trying to get through this. We spoke about rewind. A while back, we spoke about CNN doing a Kobe doc. And it came out and I didn't know. And one day I was on HBO Max, or I'm sorry, the Max app. And it was on the banner, 3-part Kobe doc out. So it's out. It's called Kobe, The Making of a Legend. First of all, I wish that this docu-series is 3 parts. I wish they had a different name for this. The reason I say that is because this was not about the making of a legend. Part 1 speaks about his dad's issues with the NBA and substance and all of that stuff, and how they moved to Italy. He grew up in Italy and what that did for him. How him watching his dad become a star in Italy kind of paved the way for young Kobe to be a star as well. And his work ethic and some of the things that we know him for, how they started out even very young. All right, cool. And then him going to the NBA and all the way to him winning his first championship, him celebrating with his dad, him making sure his dad is in the forefront, all of those things. And then it goes into him meeting Vanessa and his family kind of not fucking with him after that. Okay, cool. And the first episode ends with Kobe being like alone in the locker room when he wins the second championship or the third championship. I think it was the second one. And so they make this big thing of like, now Kobe's dad wasn't there. Now we didn't see his family around. And the night of the championship, everybody's popping bottles and excited. We can't find Kobe. And Kobe is like sitting alone, hugging the championship trophy in a bathroom stall. And they make this thing of like, now Kobe is alone and isolated. All right, cool.
How did they even get footage of that?
Kobe's had cameras around him since he was very small. And so also there are sports crews that are allowed to film certain things. So like locker room footage is allowed and different things like that. You're allowed to do locker room interviews and stuff like that.
So technically he wasn't alone. Right?
Well, everyone was celebrating in the main area, so to speak.
Okay.
And everybody, they say, like, everybody's like, but where's Kobe? Where's Kobe? And finally he was found in the bathroom section, like on the floor. Yeah, there's a picture. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. Like, if he was alone, how did they even have
He was nowhere near the rest of the team.
Okay.
Dad wasn't there. Mom wasn't there. Vanessa wasn't there. Nobody's there. Okay.
Gotcha.
The entire second episode is about the case in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The SA case in Colorado. The entire second episode is about that. There are 43 minutes. 5 minutes are not about that. 5. This was crazy to me. Not that they shouldn't speak about this. Yeah, it's a journalistic approach. You should speak about the things going on in Kobe's life during his history. But your shit is called The Making of a Legend. And to spend an entire episode on that case really sound like you were trying to tear down a legend. Okay? They did their best to make it clear that Kobe did this and that the only reason he didn't go to jail is because the young lady dropped the charges because she was tore up by the media and couldn't take it anymore. And they even show you Kobe's apology letter during the civil suit, which was settled and no money was given allegedly. And different people read different portions of the Kobe apology letter where it basically says he did it. I'm not going to weigh in on whether Kobe did it or not or whatever. My thing is your doc is called The Making of a Legend. To spend an entire episode on this thing was really gross to me. And they didn't leave it there because the third episode is the creation of the Black Mamba alter ego, Kobe using his rage to, create this other persona and push him to pinnacles where he never was before, not plateaus, to the top of the mountain. And then they even cover his retirement, the his closeness with his daughters, and how it kept him balanced, and that was beautiful. But they also make sure to bring up the SA case once again. They make sure to tell you that when Kobe was getting nominated for the Oscar for his short film, that the SA allegations came back because it was the height of the Me Too movement, and people were petitioning and doing GoFundMe to raise money to be able to petition against Kobe winning this. Is this thing about Kobe or is it about allegations? Because I'm very confused. They pretty much sped through all the basketball stuff after high school. Most of this doc is not about Kobe playing basketball, which is crazy because Kobe was a basketball player for most of his life. I don't understand what the hell CNN was doing. I am extremely disappointed in this doc. They were able to balance it, and I will give them credit for that, because the third episode, they did a really good job of covering from Black Mamba's inception until his passing. And so I will give them credit for that. But my gosh, to spend so much time on SA allegations, which were a very small piece of his life, is crazy to me. It's not like he was Harvey Weinstein or P. Diddy. I don't understand. Like, this was a thing that lasted a year of Kobe's life. Why are we focusing on it? And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't have discussed it. I'm not saying they're wrong for their journalistic approach of covering it. Getting different people to speak on it, no problem. Speaking about what happened in court, no problem. Even though I don't like that they showed the apology letter, okay, fine. But dog, 50 minutes of this 3-part doc is on a Kobe allegation case? Even if you feel he did it, we don't need to spend this much time on it when your thing is called The Making of a Legend. They didn't speak about Kobe's routines and how he, works out 4 times a day. And a lot of this stuff was just breezed by. Even the Olympics, when they spoke about how Kobe was the reason they won the famous Olympics that Kobe kind of took charge of. I think it was 2008, if I'm correct. Even that was one sentence. That was one sentence. Kobe winning the Olympics and taking charge of a team of stars that were a lot younger than him was one sentence. I don't understand. Those are my thoughts.
It sounds like maybe they hid another doc inside of the doc. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they had 2 goals in the way they formatted it. I didn't see it, but that's what it sounds like to me. Like, they said they were telling one story, but they then told another story within the story, which is layered, right? It's a part of his story, whether we like it or not. But and like you said, they should absolutely good journalism is to include that this happened and this is a part of his story. I guess
Totally agree.
I guess I'm just I am a little bit confused by the fact that it sounded like it was going to be, something that focused more on his career, that for something that I'm assuming was about 3 hours long, they spent almost an hour on that. I mean, I get it. I get that it's a part of his story, but I'm just curious as to why they took that approach, because they also could have just made a documentary about the case.
I think it's nasty.
You
I
know what I
think it's
mean?
disgusting to do this to a person who's been gone for 5 years. I
Yeah.
think it's disgusting to do this with the title being Kobe, the Making of a Legend, when it sounds like you were trying to tear down his name and his legacy.
Yeah. No, I
It's
totally
almost like the point was to put a stain on his name.
right. Which is odd to me, because then also the doc could have just not been made. Again, I feel like then do the doc you wanted to do. Also, you could just I don't know. I guess again, I don't think they were wrong, but I do wonder why it was such a big chunk as opposed to spending more time on his career and his philosophies and things
Yeah.
like that. If they were going to take the approach of they're talking about how legendary he was, then it kind of just feels like um there's some missed opportunity in the middle of it to
Yeah, because it's almost like they wanted to make a doc not about the basketball star, but about the person Kobe was.
yeah.
And that's okay. I don't know why you would not speak about the basketball because like it was like Kobe went to the NBA and there was a lot of doubt, but he ended up winning 3 championships. It's like that was it. That was the coverage of the three-peat, which is like history of
Yeah.
like his history. They had these like huge historical moments in his career that got one sentence or two sentences,
Yeah.
and it was really weird. But it's like, okay, if that's the case, I don't know what's happening here. All right, sorry about that.
Mhm.
Ring light just took a dive.
Oh,
I think that's weird, but even if that's the case, if your goal is to focus on Kobe the person,
mhm.
then that's fine. But why would Kobe the person get an hour or an entire episode of Kobe the person be about this case that was a year of his life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird way to approach it. Like I could see if it was a longer docu-series and it was like there were more parts to it, but the fact that there were only 3 parts to it, it just seems like overkill.
It
Um
was, and I
or
feel
like
like
they
I feel
missed.
like it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, or like they missed the original goal. Like they went like they kind of veered. They went off on a tangent, and then it took them a while to come back. Which,
It was the deepest deep dive ever of something that was 1 year of his life. And again, even if CNN felt he was guilty, there was
mhm,
another way to do this.
yeah. No, I hear you. I understand. It's a
I don't. It's so weird. It's like
reason.
doing a movie about Denzel, and we barely hear about him acting.
Yeah.
Once his career starts, right? It's like they
Hmm.
do a lot of stuff about when he was a kid. But once his career actually starts, it's just like, yeah, he did a couple movies and he was the man. Oh, and then he won an Oscar and that was great. But it's like about his wife and how they almost broke up. And, he had a big fight with his son that tore their relationship for years. Why would that be the Denzel doc? Like,
Yeah.
that's Denzel, the making of a legend? Like, I don't. I'm very disappointed in CNN.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't, everything you expected it to be or wanted it to be.
I didn't really have an expectation except that they just did a great job with the Luther doc.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh, they bodied the Luther doc. We really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So I guess, all right, let's see what they do with Kobe. That was it. It wasn't that this was going to be the best shit since sliced bread. It just was like, all right, we know they're capable of doing great things. They just did something great with the Luther doc. This is after or around the same time. Let's see what they got. And I was like, oh, this what they got? Like a whole episode on a year of his life. It was like somebody saw that the doc was going great and was like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Yeah, I gotta talk about this. And it's like, I don't understand what was the point of that. Like, again, and I want to say again, I'm not saying he was innocent. I'm not saying they shouldn't have discussed it. But to spend an entire episode, to spend a third, 33% on that is crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Because again, it's not like he had mad allegations, crazy Harvey Weinstein type stuff, R. Kelly type stuff. It was one case that didn't even finish. It didn't even. It was the case. The charges were dropped.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I mean, sometimes that's just the way things go down. Like sometimes things are well thought out and executed well, and sometimes we got to come on here and talk about the fact that maybe it wasn't um done in the best way.
Yeah, I can't believe CNN did that. Shame on them.
Yeah.
But anyway.